Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Brockton City Council for September 11th, 2023. The time having arrived and a quorum being present, I hereby call this meeting to order. Please rise and join me, I guess you're all ahead of me, in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilors remain standing. I'm asking for a moment of silence in memory of all those who lost their lives or their good health as a result of the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers, which was, I believe, 22 years ago today. May they all rest in peace. Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Item number 1, acceptance of the minutes of the August 28th, 2023 City Council meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a hearing, petition of Hopkinton LNG Corp. of 800 Boylston Street, 17th floor, Boston, Mass. for a flammable storage above-ground license transfer located at 10 Oak Hill Way, Brockton, Mass. 02301. In City Clerk's office, July 26, 2022. Hearing is signed for September 11th, 2023. Fire Department has no objections. All paperwork is on file.
The time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is there anyone here in favor?
Just step
Come
forward.
Good evening. Will you give your name and address to the clerk?
Sure, my name is Kelly McMahon, and I'm the plant supervisor at 10 Oak Hill Way.
Okay. Is there a statement you'd like to make at this time?
Sure. So we have 12 propane tanks at 10 Oak Hill Way. They have been there since 1972. However, Eversource purchased Columbia Gas in 2020, and I was renewing the flammable storage permit for this upcoming year, and in doing so, we had to transfer the license from Columbia Gas to Hopkinton LNG Corp., which is a sub of Eversource Energy.
Did you say they were broken?
No, they are not broken.
No.
Because it's a total of 960,000 gallons,
Yes.
which is a lot of,
Yes, there are 12 tanks. Each of them are 80,000 gallons.
yes, and they're all submerged.
Yes, they're all mounded.
Yes. Okay. Councilors, does anyone have any questions? This is in Ward 4.
Motion to recommend favorably.
Thank you.
Actually, it's a hearing, so we finished it.
Oh, all right.
Anyone else?
Is there anyone else here in favor of granting this license transfer? Okay. If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? If not, I declare that portion of the hearing closed.
Questions on granting the transfer?
No. The question comes on granting the transfer of the license by a hand vote. All in favor? Is anyone opposed? Thank you. It carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 3, we have the appointment of Stephen R. Kelly of Stonehill Street, Brockton, Mass. to the Elections Commission as a commissioner for a 4-year term ending August 2027. In City Council, August 28, 2023. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed. I'm looking for a,
Motion Madam President,
yes.
motion to recommend favorably in the hopes it does not prevail.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion for reconsideration in the hopes.
Sorry, yeah, motion for reconsideration.
Thank you.
Hopes it does not
In the
prevail.
hopes that it fails. All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. It fails. Thank you.
Item number 4, we have an ordinance amending Appendix C zoning, Article 3, Section 27-20, accessory structures to establish new provisions for fence heights. In City Council, April 24th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item number 5, an ordinance be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Appendix C, zoning, Article 3, general regulation and permitted modifications is hereby amended as follows. Home occupation as a right, as attached. Home occupation by special permit as attached. Be it further amended that home occupation is as defined in Article 2, Section 27-61 is hereby stricken. In City Council, April 24th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading as amended by a hand vote.
Councilors, the question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
So,
Yes.
Madam President, Councilor Rodriguez and myself, on the motion, would like to bring up, we had requested in committee to have an actual measurement to some of these, to, I believe, to the containers, and it's not in here, so.
We're on item number
We're on 5.
5. And the corrected agenda does have it on there. It was just a typo in what's in front of you.
I thought that was, okay,
But the one you were for that item, the one you were voting on does have the or 60 feet.
okay.
But this is item number 5 on home occupation. Councilor Rodriguez?
I guess I'm yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item number 6, ordinance, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 3, general regulations and permitted modifications of the city's zoning ordinances is hereby amended by inserting the following section where appropriate. Portable storage containers, Section 1 is definitions, Section 2 is restrictions. Madam Attorney, where was the size that we had to fix?
That actually is in item number 9.
Yes.
Item number 1 is residential zones. Item 2, commercial and industrial zones. The issuance and extension of any permit shall be within the discretion of the building department. The building department shall affix fees for the initial permit and permit extension and shall assign a per-unit fee for commercial and industrial zones. There shall be a penalty of $200 for any violation of this ordinance. Each day shall constitute a separate offense. In City Council, April 24th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading as amended by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
What do you want to do? Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Madam President,
Yes.
can I just speak a little bit on this item if I could?
On the motion?
Yes. I'm a little uncomfortable because I took the time to drive around the city and checking some backyards for some containers. I found quite a few small containers, not sheds, in people's homes, in the backyard of their homes.
Yes.
There's a few of them on Summer Street alone where you've got that vast area behind the street itself. So I think we ought to reconsider what we had discussed in the ordinance committee to at least allow one in the backyard. Because people use these little containers as a shed. I'm not talking about the 40-footers. I'm not talking about anything over 20 feet. But the small containers, there's quite a few of them being utilized as sheds in the backyard. So I think we need to add a line in this particular ordinance that basically allows just for at least one container in the backyard, as long as it's not in the front yard, that it's hidden in the back of the dwelling in this sense. I think we should allow that.
Councilor Rodriguez, if you look at residential 1E, it limits portable storage containers to having a length of over 20 feet. So anything under 20 feet would be allowed. And it does say here that the permit, so if you were to get a permit for anything over 20 feet, you could have up to 3. So anything under 20 feet is allowed.
Madam President,
Yes.
for the council, through you. But I thought the idea was that we have had quite a few of these containers sitting in front lawns, and we were trying to do what we could to remove that from existence. So if we're going to go ahead and allow, 20-foot containers, I think it defeats the purpose of the whole ordinance, because the problems that we're having is not necessarily with the 40-footers or anything over 20 feet. It's a bunch of these 20-foot containers placed on driveways, placed in front of the house, that's kind of becoming a nuisance to the neighborhood. And I'd like to see them being put behind the home so that they're not a sore eye for the resident that actually lives on those streets. So we have to figure out a way, because to be honest with you, if this goes through as is, it's not going to make a difference as to what we're talking about here, what we're trying to do. Because the intent was to clean this up so we don't have a bunch of these things everywhere. But if anything under anything 20 and under is basically allowed, then we're basically at the same position that we started.
Madam President,
Yes,
if I could,
yes,
we're already in the roll call, so
right,
under Robert's rules, we need to finish the roll call.
yes.
And I would then recommend that the councilor move for reconsideration in the hopes it does prevail, and then make a motion to send it back. Only procedurally, we're already in the roll call vote, so.
So vote, if you will, Councilor Rodriguez.
I'll vote against it.
Okay.
Tavares?
Okay. I vote against as well.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
So that was 8 in the affirmative, 2 in opposition on the vote.
So it carries.
Madam President, I move for reconsideration in hopes that it prevails.
Second.
Somebody from the prevailing side to make that motion, don't we?
I thought it had to be from the negative side.
You have to vote in favor of it to reconsider.
Okay, then
I would
I'll
ask that somebody from
Okay.
the affirmative side make the
I
motion
move
as
for
well.
reconsideration in hopes that it prevails.
Second.
Second.
All right, a motion's been made and properly seconded in hopes that it prevails. All in favor of it prevailing?
Wait a minute. Yeah, actually, can we have a recess?
Yep.
Take a brief recess.
We're going to have a brief recess. Thank you. We resumed.
Councilors, so you have a motion for reconsideration. If you vote yes, that would reconsider the vote that passed the ordinance. And at that point in time, if reconsideration passes, then there can be a motion to refer this back to ordinance.
Okay,
Understood.
so we've had
So we have a motion on the floor for reconsideration.
okay, motion on the floor for reconsideration has been properly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, so
Reconsideration carries.
reconsideration carries. Now, do you want to make a motion to send it back to ordinance?
At this time, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we refer this item back to ordinance so we can make the tweaks that we need to make on this.
Okay,
Second.
all right, a motion's been
Again, I
made.
just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm not against this. I just need to tweak it so that it serves the purpose for what we intended to do.
Motion for tweaks has been made and seconded. All in favor? One opposed? Okay, it carries. There were several opposed. Thank you.
That was 6. Item 7, ordinance. An ordinance amending Article 3, general regulations and permitted modifications of the city's zoning ordinances to establish special permit requirements for exterior stairways above the ground floor. In City Council, April 24th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item number 8, ordinance, an ordinance amending Article 5, special uses of the city's zoning ordinances, Section 27-38, standards, to delete subsection 38J in its entirety relative to standards on fire warning systems. In City Council, April 24th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item 9, ordinance, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Appendix C, zoning, Article 3, general regulation and permitted modifications is hereby amended as follows. Section 27-9, standards for residential zones, Table 1. Maximum height, R1A, R1B, R1C, principal building 2.5 stories or 35 feet. R2, 3 stories or 45 feet. R3, 3 stories or 45 feet. R4, 3 stories or 45 feet. Section 27-10, standards for commercial zones, Table 2. There is a scrivener's error on your agendas, councilors. This should read in entirety, building height, C1, 2 stories or 35 feet. C2 through C6, 6 stories or 60 feet. Section 27-11, standards for industrial zones, Table 3, building height, I1, I2, and I3, principal building 6 stories. Be it further amended that subsection 2 of Section 2-8, application of regulations, is hereby amended to provide as follows. For R3, R4 commercial and industrial zones only, no building shall be erected, reconstructed, or structurally altered to exceed in height the limit hereinafter designated for the district in which such building is located, except by special permit. 3, for I1, no accessory structure shall be erected, reconstructed, or structurally altered to exceed in height the limit hereinafter designated for the district in which such building is located, except by special permit. In City Council, April 10th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading as amended by a hand vote.
Councilors, the question is on ordinance.
Point of information, Madam President.
Okay.
Section 27-11, standards for industrial zones, there's an additional scrivener's error. That's supposed to say 6 stories or 60 feet as well.
I apologize, you're correct.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. All right, so with that addition in 27-11, the question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
Second.
Okay, a motion for reconsideration in the hopes it does not fail has been made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed?
Oh, okay. Opposed. I know.
Item 10, ordinance, an ordinance amending Article 5, Division 1, Stormwater Authority. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 5, Division 1 is hereby amended as attached. Section 23-132, definitions shall be amended to include the attached definitions. Section 23-133, Stormwater Authority agency is established by this ordinance. Section 23-134, responsibility for administration as attached. Section 23-135, severability as attached. Section 23-136, meetings as attached. In City Council, March 13th, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended. In City Council, August 28th, 2023, passed to a third reading as amended by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nacastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Madam President, I move reconsideration in the hope it does not prevail.
Second.
Second.
All right. Motion has been made and properly seconded for reconsideration. All in favor? All opposed? It fails. Thank you.
Item number 11, ordinance, an ordinance amending Article 3, Division 2, Section 2-127, pay plan to establish pay plan provisions for the positions of DPW Financial Business Manager and Grant Writer. In City Council, June 26, 2023, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable. In City Council, August 28, 2023, passed to a third reading by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination by a roll call vote. Councillor Farwell.
Madam President, in view of financial issues that are currently being scrutinized in the city, I believe we should postpone creating this new position and assigning funds to it until we have additional information. So I would move to postpone this to the next Finance Committee meeting.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and properly seconded to postpone.
And
To-
refer
To refer.
I'm
sorry.
Refer it back to finance, the first finance meeting in October. Okay, all those in favor?
October.
October, thank you. Anyone opposed? Thank you. It is referred back to finance.
Item 12, resolved that the City Council request all members of the Brockton School Committee appear at a meeting of the council for the purpose of an inquiry into the recent announcement of a $14 million deficit because of overspending of appropriations and other revenues in fiscal year 2023.
Referred to finance. Late files. Councillor Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. I make a motion to accept a late file.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you, it carries.
We have a communication from the Chief of Police requesting authorization to expend grant monies related to the fiscal year 2024 jail arrest diversion program of $341,700 from the Department of Mental Health. From the Brockton Police Department grant writer requesting that the enclosed grant awards be processed to allow the City of Brockton to expend funds authorized under the fiscal year 2024 jail arrest diversion program.
And both are accepted and placed on file.
Thank you. We have a communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
And the order is ordered that the following name sum be and the same is hereby transferred as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Appropriation of $341,700 from the Department of Mental Health, $341,700 to the Police Department fiscal year 24 jail arrest diversion program, $341,700.
Referred to finance. Councillor Farwell.
Madam President, I have a late file, and after it's read by the clerk, I'd like to just speak on it for a moment. So motion to admit a late file.
Second.
All right, a motion's been made and properly seconded for a late file. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you, it carries.
You want us to sign?
Whereas, as requested and voted by the Brockton School Committee, appropriations were approved for the operation of the public schools for fiscal year 2023, and whereas spending in excess of the appropriations occurred, the exact amount not yet confirmed, and whereas the overspending has broad implications for other departments in the city and for future municipal budgets, and whereas to accurately identify all outstanding issues, it would be prudent to examine both fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023 school department appropriations, including specific categories where funds were allotted but overspending occurred. Now therefore be it resolved, the city solicitor, acting through an outside vendor with no prior relationship, be it ordered, that the city solicitor, acting through an outside vendor with no prior relationships with the City of Brockton, conduct an audit of the appropriations for fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023 provided to the Brockton Public Schools. If sufficient funds do not exist within the law department for this purpose, the solicitor shall request a supplemental appropriation from the mayor and city council for said purpose.
Councillor Farwell.
Madam President, I filed this because we're all aware of the issues that are now surrounding appropriations for the school department. Under Mass General Laws, Chapter 71, Section 34, we do not have any authority over how that money is spent. Once it is approved by this body, it is then the responsibility of the school committee and the superintendent to expend those funds. That said, the only way we're going to regain the trust and confidence of this community is to have an outside, independent, non-political audit from a firm that has absolutely no association with the city to come in and go through all of the expenditures, all of the appropriations, make sure that the money that we allotted to the school department was expended where they said it should, and more importantly, to identify where did the overspending occur, who was responsible for it, and how do we make sure this doesn't happen again. Lastly, I want to explain why I chose the solicitor to do this. We're all political people. The state auditor is a political person. The city solicitor and the people who work in the law department are attorneys. And I have great respect for all of you on this council who are attorneys. You take an oath. You have a license to practice law. You are bound by judicial and other ethics. You're officers of the court. The city solicitor will focus on truth, evidence, facts, not rumor, innuendo, and speculation. And for that reason, I think it's so appropriate that we have the law department select the vendor, oversee the audit, and hopefully restore some sense of confidence from the public as to what's going on with our school department revenues and expenditures. And I thank all of you who co-sponsored this. I really appreciate it. I think it's a team effort. This council for the last almost 2 years has functioned as a team, and I think it's so important that we continue to do so because this is an important matter. This is an important matter for us and for the community and for the kids in the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, and that is referred to Finance. Councilor's recognition, Councilor Eza.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to remind everyone at home that this week, starting Thursday, September 14th and running through the 17th, is the annual Greek Food Festival at the Annunciation Greek Church at 457 Oak Street. It's always a great event attended by many here in the community as well as from our surrounding communities. It's a great time to experience Greek food, culture, music. So hopefully everybody will be able to attend and support our Greek community in Brockton. And this past weekend was a very exciting weekend here in Brockton at DW Fields Park. We had the Wildlands Trust with their Bio Blitz, which was kids, scientists went around the park and identified plants and insects. And at the same time, it was the first Saturday for the kids' road races, which have been taking place, I believe, for over 40 years at DW Fields Park with Mr. Dave Gorman. So I'd like to remind a lot of our Brockton students, because I was amazed to see that there were a lot of kids, but they weren't all from Brockton. We had one of the, I believe the girl who came in first was all the way from Quincy. So if you have kids that love to run, ages from 7 to 14 years old, please have them attend the kids' road race every Saturday. It's run from Saturday, September 9th, right through to Saturday, October 20th. They start registrations at 9:30 a.m. and then the race starts at 10 a.m. You can also get more information at kidsroadraces.org. So hopefully we get a lot of Brockton students that want to participate. It's a great event. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Thompson?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm sure you may have this on your list, and I forgot to ask you before. Did you have an announcement for the Hispanic Heritage Month Parade? Or
Go ahead, you should do
okay,
it.
all right, I appreciate that. For the information of the community and my fellow city councilors, this Saturday, the Women's Latina Association will be holding a Hispanic Heritage Month Parade. This parade is going to begin at 12 o'clock noon. As I said, Saturday, September 16th, this is going to be downtown. This is the second annual parade for Hispanic Heritage Month. Last year, we had a really great time. It was a great turnout. I invite you all to attend, and I'm looking forward to this event. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Anyone else? There being no other business in front of us, we're adjourned.